What's going on, everybody? Savage Drumming here with some more YouTube content for you. A short, quick little video on one of my personal favorite commanders. That's right, we're in Magic the Gathering territory, baby. The nebula behind me tells you nothing, but I love having it back there. We're playing Yurlok of Scorch Thrash. It's 1 and a Jund. Bring back the burn. So as you guys can see, Yurlok of Scorch Thrash is 1 and a Jund. As Vigilance, a player losing unspent mana causes that player to lose that much life. And for 1 mana, you can tap him, and each player adds 1 black, 1 red, and 1 green. Now that's good because a lot of those spells that are going to get rid of him are not in those colors. So you definitely don't want blue because you'll start watching them counter all your combo wins. You definitely don't want them in many different other colors like white, because you don't want to give them anything into like Ephemerate or Path to Exile. This champion is great, but you have to learn your timing, right? The way Yurlok wins games is the following combo. You have Leyline of Abundance on the field, and Leyline of Abundance states that if you have Leyline of Abundance in your opening hand, you may begin the game with it on the battlefield. Whenever you tap a creature for mana, which you'll be doing with Yurlok, you can add an additional green. You will now create 4 mana for yourself. And the 6 and 2 green, put 1/1 counter on each creature you control, is irrelevant because we don't need that part. So now you're going to tap this creature for 4 mana, and with Umbral Mantle equipped, all you have to do is untap it. So, Yurlok taps now for 4 with Leyline of Abundance, and Umbral Mantle says for 3 mana, you can untap this creature and it gets +2/+2. So you net 1 mana. And guess what we're going to use that mana for? To tap him again. We can tap him infinitely and give everybody infinite mana. That's great. We don't have a mana sink. These are things we need to look out for. We need to look out for certain combo pieces that we can use, but they can also use, such as Walking Ballista, Omnath, Locust of Mana, and hell, even Helix Pinnacle would be really good to watch out for. As long as they don't have something they can just dump mana into, like Sensei's Divining Top, you can just keep looking at the top 3. Then you're pretty safe. However, when those people show up, what you can do is cast a card like Zancha, right? You've got one person that's definitely ahead of the curve. Want to get rid of them as fast as possible. A lot of people don't want to take 3 damage at the end of their turn. So you cast Zancha and you give it to the person who's very clearly in the lead. Every time you tap for 3, everybody else can spend those 3 mana. Zancha's controller loses 2 life, and you, because you own the card, draw a card. Any player may activate this ability. So if I'm netting mana, all I have to do is give it to you, make you lose 2 life, and I can draw a card. Player elimination, baby. Player elimination. So some key things in this deck that we're looking for, and we have to be very, very careful with. We are looking for cards like Staff of Domination. For 1 generic, you can untap Staff of Domination. 2 and tap, you gain 1 life. 3 and tap, you can untap target creature. 4 and tap, you can tap target creature. And 5 and tap, you can draw a card. So as long as you're netting infinite mana, present a loop where you can draw cards into whatever it is you need. Now at this point, probably netted a lot of mana, and so did they. So you have to make sure you have a place to put it. And Like I said before, you can dump it into Zansha, you can dump it into Staff of Domination, you can dump it into Sensei's Divining Top, you can dump it into a Helix Pinnacle. All these are very, very, very good mana dumps that prevent you from losing the game. Now, the caveat at the end of this is you want to do this in response to phase changes. So when somebody moves to their end step is when I suggest personally, that you tap this card and present your loop. Because at that point, people have to play at instant speed. You don't want to give them mana moving into their first main phase. You don't want to give them mana going into their second main phase. You want to give them mana when it's possible to kill them. You can also politic with this commander. You can give them the mana that they need to help counter somebody else or to help put into a potential board state that prevents somebody else from carrying away with the game. But primarily it's a group slug commander. So this commander here is my go-to. When I don't know what's going on at the table, when I don't know where everybody else is playing, if they're playing Malcolm Timna, if they're playing Timna Crom, regardless what they're playing, this will always be relevant because you can always do damage. Always politic your way up to the top. You may not win all your games. Playing for placement, this could be the card for you guys. That being said, my first video, my first choice, if I'm ever building a commander, I've built it twice, is Yurlok Scorch Thrash. Personal favorite. Thank you guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Burn your friends and burn your enemies with Yurlok. And I'll catch you guys in the next lobby.